Hello everyone, the Kentucky Patriot here once again. This is just a quick video response to a gentleman by the name of Douglas McCullough, if I'm pronouncing that name right. And basically his comment was him and his wife are planning on building a house on about 45 acres of wooded area that's very rural, where they're going to be moving to. And his questions was about his home and floor plans and maybe what to avoid or maybe what to do. We were very fortunate. My dad actually drew up our house plans on our home. And I'm one of these guys that learned the hard way. So as you've heard me tell about my story in a previous video, we lived in a very small town where everybody knew everybody. I mean, my grandparents lived there, my parents lived there, I lived there. All of our neighbors, we all knew everybody. And when the postmaster called me at work and told me that somebody had just kicked in my door and broke into my house in broad daylight, I was floored. I couldn't believe it. And so that began to change my mind and way of thinking. And then when I had kids, then my mind and thinking even changed the more so. You become more protective. You think about things more. And so, Mr. McCullough, you are already far ahead above me, because by the time I had started a family and actually got married, I'd already been broke into. And so you thinking about these things before you start to build and move, I think is very wise. And it's very humbling. It really is, when you think enough of us to ask our opinion. But that's basically all I have is an opinion, okay? I'll do my best to answer it as honestly as I can, but there's so many things that aren't really facts. They are opinions, okay? And another viewer just the other day by the name of Stephen, he asked us our opinion, and I tried to answer it typing, but I'll mention it here a little bit too. He was talking about which gun that I think would be better for him to carry, the Charter Arms 44 Special or the Charter Arms 38 Special. And really, it's so hard for me to answer some of those questions, because what may be right for one person may not be right for another. And whether it's firearms or holsters, I mean, for instance, you can talk to somebody that loves their holster and talks about how comfortable their holster is. And you may try it on, and it may not be a bit comfortable for you. There's different body types. There's different sizes of people. Basically, for Stephen, I'm not really, to be honest with you, I have a vast knowledge of Charter Arms, but he was asking me about the 44 Special or 38 Special. Now, what I've seen, and there may be more of this, like I said, I'm not a Charter Arms expert, but the 44 Specials, the ones I've seen have like a 2-inch barrel, 2.5-inch barrel, something like that, and the 38 Special has like a 4-inch barrel. So you not only have to look at caliber, you have to look at the concealability. And Stephen mentioned that he shot the 38 Special better and felt more comfortable with it. So that may be your answer if you feel more comfortable shooting. But not only the shootability of it, but the carry, the comfortable, and how well you conceal it and how comfortable it is. Because some people will get a big gun and they'll have an outfit. They say, hey, I can get it in this outfit, but we all know there's different seasons. You wear more than one outfit, and some people do that. They'll change their gun. In the winter, they'll carry a bigger gun. In the summer, a smaller gun, or whatever. But what I'm saying is, I would look at how comfortable the gun is. If the one with the weight of them, if the one with the longer barrel, which would be in the 38, what I've seen, would that be harder to carry? Can you still conceal it good? Which one can you get to, and which one can you shoot the best? Which one's the heaviest? The means and the mode you're going to carry it. Are you talking outside the waistband, or are you going to try to conceal it inside the waistband? So there's so many things to take into consideration. But you can't just look at one person and say they do this, that must be right. Because even in my own home, me and my wife, we carry 2 different weapons. And I love my choice. She loves her choice. Well, I can't tell her choice is wrong, because she shoots hers very well. She loves her pistol. Hers is a lot smaller than mine. It's slimmer than mine. But for a female, sometimes a smaller gun's easier to conceal. So sometimes there's not just a black and white answer. It's what works best for you. So, Mr. McCullough, back to you on your house plans. To be honest with you, I think it's very wise of you, like I said, for you to consider the thoughts. But What I would do, really, to be honest with you, is look at a house plan that suits you and that your wife would be happy with, and build from there. I wouldn't specifically do or not do anything, because I'll really be honest with you, I don't think the layout of your house is really going to determine you surviving or not. I really don't think there's a certain build of a house, or a certain corner, or a certain a house that's going to doom you, or a certain house that's going to make it like Fort Knox. I really don't. Just like in a video we talked about the other day, where that gentleman had a fence, and I talked to him since then and found out how that guy got over the wall. It was trash night, and he lives in town, so they took the garbage out. And when they had their trash can was out there, the man, I guess, had got the trash can somehow, or got it off a neighbor or something, put the trash can on the fence, and then leaped over the fence. So there's ways around it. So when I tell you there's things that you should do to protect your home, none of these are foolproof, okay? If somebody has the intent and enough desire to get into your house, they are going to get in your house. So even like with the 3-inch screws, like I was trying to talk about, I didn't get it out the way I was trying to, but and securing the deadbolts and stuff on your house, and maybe instead of a little a weak frame, just a little bit of the door frame is a little bit of wood, or pressed wood, or particle board, maybe a steel frame door where the actual deadbolt goes into the steel frame, or or if you do use wood or whatever, have 3-inch screws. Those things help tremendously. But really, I think if you and your wife have a house plan, you go with a house plan you think you and your wife will be happy with, and that you're going to build a family with, and then you go from there. What I recommend, and this is what I do personally, my wife loves flowers. My wife loves flower beds, loves to garden and do that. But what we do is we have she put the plastic down, have pea gravel, and we have flowers and little things. What I don't recommend is things like these shrubs where bad guys can hide, where they can lie in wait. Well, what we do at our house, and it's totally up to you, you got to make your own decisions, but we have it where we can see. Well, if I hear something, I can look out the window, there's no shrubs, we've got a big street light, we pay the power company whatever it is a month, but they come put the big pole up, so this pole's outside in front of my house that illuminates a pretty good area. So if you look out the window, it's not completely black. And Mr. McCullough, while your house is being framed, what I totally recommend would be an alarm system that is hardwired. You want one that that you can have them call the police, you can have them call you, different things, but you want one hardwired with a battery backup, so if they cut the power, cut the phones, lose electricity, the siren will still sound, and you certainly want that. And the thing is, like I said, if you don't have shrubs or nothing where you can see, they also make, like if you have a driveway, these little sensors, it goes ding ding, or it makes a little sound when a car pulls in, just let somebody know you're coming. And really, I think what I would look at is more than the interior of your house, the exterior of your house. Are you building a house with a basement? Are you building a two-story home? And if you're building a two-story home, I know it's easy to try to save money, but go ahead and have him hardwire the windows upstairs, because it happens all the time. Law enforcement will tell you that bad guys will they'll do whatever they can if they can get to the top window. So a two-story window, don't think, well, I can leave it open or I don't have to secure it. I would secure all my doors and windows with contacts. The security guys will know what to do, and tell them you want that. Glass break sensors. When you're away, have motion sensors. And they've got cameras now. Several years ago, it was very expensive to have a camera system. Nowadays, they're very inexpensive, and you can get nice quality cameras. So where if you're away, you can have it hooked up to your phone, your iPhone, when you can look and survey your house when you're not at home. Or even if you are at home, if you're going to have a basement, or you're going to have a den, and you're going to be somewhere doing work, they've got monitors now where you can glance over at the camera and view your property and see what's going on in the front and back. Again, as we've said in other videos, dogs are great. We've got dogs, and our dogs know people. So like when my mother-in-law comes, my mom and dad comes, they know who they are. They don't even bark. But when somebody strange or different comes, I'll tell my wife, I'll say, because her chair's close to the window, that's actually her chair, my recliner's over there, and I'll say, see who that is, and sure enough, those dogs will be barking, and it alerts us that somebody's out there. So I really don't think a house plan interior is really going to make or break you. You just kind of look and decide, and maybe if your wife and you decide on a certain house plan, but you see something, well, maybe this don't look safe, honey, let's get together and let's get with the architect and let's do it this way. I think that would be fine. But I would build the home of my dreams, and then once I had the home of my dreams while it's framed, the alarm system, then I would go from there and just help secure it. But there's so much on the internet and so much on YouTube that I don't know where people come up with. I really don't. But there's a gentleman by the name of Paul Howe, Howe, and he was an actual Delta Force guy that was let down on the roof at the Battle of Mogadishu. He's very experienced. He knows what he's talking about. He actually gives home defense training and courses. If you could go to Nacogdoches, Texas for a weekend and take one of his classes, that would be phenomenal. You would learn lessons that you could keep with you that are, some people say stuff and teach stuff. You think, man, I don't know if I trap this guy. You can take it to the bank. He knows what he's talking about. If you can't go, I don't know what your obligations are. Maybe you're already married or getting married, or maybe you got kids. Maybe you can't go. He's got a video, I think it's Panteo Productions, Paul Howe on home defense, and it's $20, $30. You can watch that video and he'll give you some great ideas. People like Masad Ayub, just people that's really been in these scenarios and been around this for years. But really, to make a long story short, like I said, I don't know if you're building a 2-story house, having a basement, what all your options are going to be. You and your wife being safe out in the country, because here's the thing, it's going to be a long time response for law enforcement. So, your firearm choice is going to be necessary. There's just a lot of things taken into consideration, but I would more look at what they call hardening your home, as far as with locks, because like I said, even with the good deadbolts, the 3-inch screws, eventually somebody can get in if they're really determined to get in. But what that does is that buys you time. So like we said in our other videos, that unfortunate incident where that perpetrator was in their bedroom before they even realized he was in there, that's what you want to avoid. But if you can, have plenty of time of notice, God forbid anything like this would ever happen, hopefully you'll be safe. But that way if somebody does have evil intent, you'll know when they pull in your driveway. You'll know when they're trying to get in your doors. You'll have an alarm system. You can look out your window. There'll be no shrubs, nowhere for them to hide, nothing to block your view. You can see out and see what's going on. I think that will actually benefit you more and behoove you more than the layout of your house. Whether you put the dining room or the hall or the bedroom or the stairs or whatever. I don't know if you live in a small town, or if you have any friends that's law enforcement, but maybe you could talk to them as well, and the architect and the security guy. These guys that put in security systems, they say, well, we've seen this happen. They have a lower window down here that goes in the basement, and we've seen this kicked in many times. Or they'll give you scenarios, and you can talk to them, and they can tell you what to avoid. And then when you kind of get all the information together, you get with your wife, the architect, maybe like I said, a law enforcement guy, and ask them, how they feel about a certain situation and what they think best. And I hope this helps you. I don't mean to ramble on, but I know a lot of times I'll have a video or thought in mind, and I'll try to make 2 or 3 points, and I'll think the video is going to be 5 minutes, and it'll be 20, and I'll leave out a point or two. But like I said, I recommend Paul Howe, and there's others too. But we appreciate you, and we don't think that our opinion's better than anybody else's. We don't think that we have a monopoly on knowledge. We certainly don't. But if you have any questions, we'd be more than happy to try our best to answer it. And if we don't know, I'll be honest with you, I'll say I don't know. But if I don't know, maybe I can find out the answer for you, or I can tell you something from experience. But if you have any questions, you want to leave in the comments below. Like we always say, keep them family friendly. But if you have a question you want to ask us, we'll do our very best to answer them for you. Or if you have a thought in mind or a video you'd like for us to do as far as shooting a certain gun or a certain caliber, or what you want us to do out on the range, we have always started. We started these videos, and we've continued to make these videos with helping somebody in mind. Like I said in the last video, we don't do this to make money. We don't do this for any other reason, but hopefully to help somebody. And when he left that in the comments, it's just hard for me to condense a lot of times an answer into the comment box. So I hope this helps you. If there's certain points you want me to elaborate on, or if I talk too much, because I do ramble, I understand that, and I apologize for that. But we will do our best to answer any questions you have. And Stephen, hope that helps you on your 38 or 44 choice. But just because somebody carries a gun and they have success with it, don't necessarily mean I will. So just make sure it's comfortable, make sure you can shoot it, and really, whether it's 38 or 44 special, if that's your carry gun and you train with it, I think either one of them will serve you well. Again, it's the Christmas season. Hope everybody has a wonderful Christmas. May God bless you, the Kentucky Patriot. Signing off.